Looking at numbers here and all the numbers that Kiana put up, talk about what doesn't show up here, the defense that she gives you, the presence, her presence on the floor. You just know that, she's not one that's all over the floor like Scotty, but she is all over the floor in just different spots.
Well, I've said it all year. I don't know that it's hard to find, like if you were looking at who gets Defensive Player of the Year, in my mind, it's her. Of this league. Like if you, in my mind, I don't know that there's a better defender in this league than her. I don't know if that plays out. It's 4 games into the season, but she is by far our best defensive player in the sense of, we can put her on anybody and she kind of stops her, but she plays big in the post. I mean, this was a big team, and she guards. She can front. She's quick, and she gets around. She makes people miss her. They get off balance. But she can also catch, we can switch 1 through 4, and she can catch anything with guards and keep guards in front of her and do that. And she's a little nasty, and she's competitive, and she'll throw someone down if it requires it and look at you like, I didn't do it. Or she's just a great competitor, and she's made herself into that. But I'm glad you noticed that, because she's good enough to play if that's all she brings defensively. And now for the fact that she's shooting the ball with this kind of confidence, and you're seeing that, and other things about her game. I mean, she's not unsung anymore. It's very clear to us she's a key player for us to be successful.
I think she's shedding the shyness of shooting. You can see when she gets the ball, she's kind of looking to shoot now, or maybe she wasn't, at other times.
Yeah, I keep going back to that Kansas City tournament, and again, it's out of Savannah Smith's injury. She kind of flourished, and she picked up the slack offensively, and I don't think she's going to give it back now. I hope she doesn't. I mean, and even Idaho said we're not going to guard her, and just said we're going to help off of her, and so. She was a key player in that game, so I don't know that people can continue to do that or act as though she can't score, because she scores enough just to again make it a fourth person in a double figures versus 3. So she's a key player for us.
Well, it may say a lot too that your 2 little ones combined for 24 points, and Courtney plays a lot of the game in foul trouble, and you still, like, I'll use the word coast to a big win. Of course, the huge start played all the way through, but this team is really, I think, learning, you may be wrong, but not to rely so much on 1 or 2 people. Does that make sense?
I think it's something we really have talked a lot about. We that we can still win with one of our big 3s or the big 3 not scoring, and I think we've shown that probably every game this conference season. One of those 3 hasn't been off the charts good, and timeliness. I think there's Savannah Smith is probably a player that for us to really win, we've got to have her score the basketball, because she's just got the ball in her hand so much. But in her, I didn't mind a lot of her shots. There's just some things, but she's been timely where when we've needed her to be her best, she's been her best. I mean, her percentage has been her best, and she's scored the basketball when we really needed her to. Tonight, she's 2 of 12. She still gets 11 points, but I love the fact that she's growing, and same with Scotty. She wasn't as good as she's been, but both of them end up with, between them 13 assists. So they're not letting maybe bad shooting or not getting shots off, like Scotty, for instance, affect their floor game. And again, I think that's as big a deal. 19 assists against this team. We shared the ball well, did a lot of good things. I'm not crazy about our how, again, when we go to the bench, we don't keep a foot down on the pedal.
Right. We
lose a little steam there, and we've got to figure out how. It's not for lack of confidence for the people coming in. It's the playing together. I don't think we know each other as well and play as well when we bring folks off the bench. So we've got to fix that a little bit. But and I think those 2 quarters, the second quarter and fourth quarter, aren't the best answers for us tonight. So we got to improve on those.
I know it's early, 4-0, and I'll reserve going crazy until you go on
Yeah.
the road and win games, even like this one, or Thursday night against Montana State, or even tougher teams on the road. Because I think that, it seems like that always is what pans out to be the difference. But it's still gotta be somewhat ensuring that you're 4-0, and that's kind of where everybody would expected you to be at this time.
I don't, all I know is, you know, it's a challenge every night, and I love the growth that this team had this week. And we put the challenge before them that we might have been the worst rebounding team in the country, and we just out-rebounded two of the better rebounding teams in our league. And so if we can grow in areas like that, and I think the next step is just that consistency of our bench play and getting them a little bit, you know, on board and playing better there, and then we can withstand foul trouble. You know, and that's what happened to us a little bit tonight. Courtney goes to the bench, and, you know, we're just a little bit off. But I think there's still room to grow in those areas. If we can improve rebounding like we just did, as drastically as we did, and continue that, then I think there's other areas we can continue to get better at as well.
Okay.